Good morning. Today, we're going to start a new lesson in chapter 3, lesson 7, which talking about the rational number and the coordinate plane. So, here we have something we call the coordinate plane. And we need now to plot a points or plot the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. But before we start, what do I mean by the coordinate plane? What do I mean by the ordered pair? Let's see. Now, all of you know that in the first lessons, we talk about the vertical number line and we talk about the horizontal number line. We said that this is a horizontal number line and this is a vertical number line. And we divided them into numbers and we represent the integers or the rational number on them. But now, when these two lines are intersecting, they make something we call it a coordinate plane. So a coordinate plane is two lines that they are intersecting. Where they are intersecting at a point, we call it the origin. So this point here is the origin. So I will repeat. We have two number lines. One is horizontal and one is vertical. They are intersect at one point. This point we call it the origin, and its value is 0. Now, and all of you remembered before that, if you have an the number line here, we have a numbers like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we have -1, -2, -3, and -4. Did you remember the horizontal number line? To the right, we have a positive numbers, and to the left, we have a negative number. So here we have +1, +2, +3, and +4. Here we have -1, -2, -3, and -4. So to the right, we have a positive, and to the left, we have a negative numbers. And then we remember the vertical. The vertical, that's mean on up, I have a positive numbers, and down we have a negative numbers. Here is +1, +2, +3, and +4. Here is -1, -2, -3, and -4. So two number lines, they are intersecting now. The vertical one, since they are in the number line now, I will change its name. Its name will be the x-axis. So I will not say now vertical horizontal number line. I will change its name now. It's x-axis line. And the vertical one, sorry, now its name is changed and we call it now with the y-axis. So this is the first part. They are two lines. They are intersecting at a 0. One is horizontal, which is x-axis, and then one is the vertical, which is the y-axis. Now the numbers on the coordinate plane, these numbers like here, used to plot a point. Like there's a point here, I can add it. I will tell you now, like the coordinate of this point is 2, 2. And there's another point. Now later on I will tell you how to name it. But you can put a point here and you can put another point in this place here. And you can then connect between them to make a line. So the coordinate plane can help me to graph points, to graph lines, to make two-dimensional shapes, to make the maps that we use the Google Maps. It comes like points, the coordinate of them, and they tell you now what is the direction to reach this point. So this is the coordinate plane. Two lines that they are intersecting. Is it clear? Grade 6?
Yeah,
Yes,
teacher.
teacher, it's fair.
Okay. So here is an example of the number line. As I told you, two lines that they are intersecting. One is horizontal, x-axis, and one is vertical, which is the y-axis. Now, how I will locate the point? How can I will plot the point? As an example, if I asked you now, there's a point of 3, 5. There's a point -3, -5. Where do I have to plot these points? First of all, you have to know something. This bracket, when you open it, they have two numbers. The first one indicates the x, and the second one indicates the y. So they are what I call them ordered pair, because x, it comes first, then y. So first of all, the first number represents x, and the second number represents y. Now, if x is positive, you have to go to the right. If x is negative, you have to go to the left. If y is positive, you have to go up, and if y is negative, you have to go down. This is the first thing. So why we call it ordered pair? Because it's ordered. It has an order, and it's very important. I cannot put y first, then x. No, x comes first, then y. Now, I want to now to locate them. I told you, if x is positive, where do I have to go? To the right. So the first of all, you have an circle here like this one. When you start moving, you must start from the origin. Now, 3. The x is a 3. So that's mean I have to go on the x-axis 3 units. And since 3 is positive, so I will go now 3 units to the right. Hi, 1, 2, 3. This is the first part. Now then, what is the value of y here? It's 5. So that's mean since the value of y 5, and I told you now that y, you have to go up or down, but y is positive. So I have to go now upward 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at this point here, we have 3, 5. This is how can I locate the point on the number line. Let's have another example. -3, -5. The first number tell you about x, and the second one tell you about y. Then, what is the sign of 3? It's negative. I told you, if it is negative, I must go to the left. So now,
Teacher, I have just a small question.
yes,
How can we know that the 5 is the y, not the x? And how we will know then that the 3 is not y and it's x?
but I told you, it's ordered. The first one, it must be x, and the second one, it must be y.
Okay.
Okay, the first number is x, and the second number is y.
Okay.
Now then, so I have now -3. So I have to go now on the x-axis, but to the left, with 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Here am I. Now then, -5. I have 5 units, but now downward, starting from this location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at this point here, you have an -3, -5.
Teacher, the lesson is too easy. We take it before.
Yeah, but something is that's really small here that we have to add it, which is the rational number and the names of the quadrant.
Yeah.
Do you have any question?
No.
No,
No,
teacher,
it's
thank you.
easy.
Okay.
Yes, teacher, I didn't understand the lesson. I didn't understand how it worked.
Who's talking?
I'm Sarah, teacher.
Sarah.
Yes, Sarah. What you didn't understand exactly?
Like how you get the answer and like this.
How do I plot on the number line?
Yeah,
Okay, let's have this
I
example
didn't
here.
understand the lesson.
Here, how do you plot the number line? Look at this point here. Here we have 4, 3. The point is, its name is 4, 3. So, you are now starting, or first of all, you have to start from the origin. Now, what is the value of x here, Yasara?
What, teacher?
What's the value of x? Is it 4 or 3?
3.
No, it is the first number, it's x, and the second one is y. It's ordered. So the value of x is what? It's 4. Now, what about the sign of 4? Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
It's negative.
How it's negative, miss?
I mean positive. I mean positive.
So then, since it's positive, so I have to go to the right 4 units. If it is negative, you have to go to the left. So here we have to go 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4 until you stop here. So here now you put, allocate the 4. Now what about 3? 3 is the value of what? Of x or y?
X.
X. How x, miss? This is x. 3 will be?
Y.
Sarah, this is x, this is y. So this is an x and this is a y. So what's the value of y? Yes, Sarah, what's the value
3.
of y? 3. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So since it's positive, I have to go upward. With how many units? With 3 units. Because the number of y, or the value of y is 3. So 1, 2, 3. So here is the location of the point. That's it. Did you understand it now?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now look at this one here. I want you now to describe the point shown and ordered pair. Here we have a point, and I want you now, it's located. I want you now to tell me what is the ordered pair of this point. How can I know? See, first of all, well, this is my point. You will make a line, cut the x-axis, and you will make a line, cut the y-axis. Now, where's the lines that come from this point to the x-axis? At which point it intersect it or cut it?
5
5.
and 2.
So the value of x will be 5. Now then,
And the value
where's
of y is
that
2.
cut it on the y-axis? 2. So the ordered
Y,
pair
it's
at this
y-axis.
point is 5, 2. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, then here, so just I will remind you here now, if you have an ordered pair, it must be closed brackets, the x value comes first and the y value comes second. So the first value for x and the second value for y. That's mean I call it ordered. It's come in order. Now, the vertical line, as I told you at the beginning, we call it an x-axis, and the horizontal line, I call it now with the x-axis. So the vertical is y,
Y-axis.
the vertical is y-axis, sorry, and the horizontal is the x-axis.
Axis.
Yeah. Now let's talk about something new here today. Now look at about the values of the, here we have 0. Okay, so look at the values now to the right of 0. Are they positive or negative?
Negative.
To the right.
What teacher?
Here.
Ah,
Here, to the right.
positive.
Are they positive or negative? Positive. Bravo.
Positive.
Type to the left. To the left.
Negative.
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 Upward. Up to 0. Are they positive or
Positive.
negative?
Positive.
Bravo.
Positive.
And down the 0, down the origin point.
Negative, of course.
That's negative. Bravo. Now, here now, as you see, there's a square. And this square, it's cut by 4 areas. The mathematician names each area by quadrant. Each area, they call it quadrant. And the Romans come and give it, the Romans came and give it a number. They said that this one is a first quadrant. This one is a second quadrant. This one is a third quadrant. And this one is a fourth quadrant. So, as I told you, they must be in this order. You cannot change the order. Here is must be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And then, as you know, in English, we have these numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. But in Romans, there are other numbers. How the numbers in Romans they are? Like, if you have this one, it means 1. If you have 2 eyes like this, it means 2. If you have 3, it means 3. And if you have something like this, it means 4. Now, what is this letter V? Here just an extra information, like V means in Romans number 5. This means 5. So if you put a letter before the 5, it means 4. If you put a letter I after the 5, it means 6. If you put 2 letters after the 5, it means 7. If you put 3 letters after the 5, it means 8. And then all of you hear about something, iPhone X. iPhone X, it means in Romans, it means 10. So if you say X, it means 10. And if you put letter I before the X, it means 9. X after it, 1 I, it means 11. And so on. This is just an information. So now, let's go back to our lesson here. That's, I want you now to change the name. Let's say now quadrant 1. Right, quadrant 1. You will write it with the Romans number. You will write here, quadrant. One. Here you will write, oh, there's a quadrant 2.
Teacher, why do we need to write them by the Roman way?
Because the Roman established them or put them.
They're the one who made this, yani the Romans?
Yeah. Quadrant 3. Just a minute here.
So, teacher, do we have to practice this and Noah?
Yeah. These things, you know, you must memorize them. You must mean where is the quadrant 1, where is the quadrant 2, where is the quadrant 3, and where is the quadrant 4. Because may I ask you now, later on, like this point here, point A as an example. In which quadrant it lies, you will tell me that's in quadrant 4. Later on, we will have examples. I will ask you
Okay.
how the questions will come.
So is
Now-
this coming in test?
Yes.
Teacher,
Oh.
did you know that يعني memorizing them the places is too easy. Write the C letter, يعني write it, and you will see that it's the same order. The way you write it, the same order. So I will memorize it like this.
How do you mean? How?
Teacher, when you write the C, you will write it like means from the quadrant 1 to quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, like this. So we can memorize it like this, the order.
Oh, it's okay. You mean, it's okay. I understand you now. You means like you have to write it like letter C.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very good. Here it's going like if you look at the clock, you know that the clock is going from here up to reach 12. But in the order here, they are not clockwise, they are counterclockwise. They are going on the opposite way of the clock. So you must know the order. Okay, now then, the last new thing, now I want you not to know it here. Ready? Now, in the first quadrant, or quadrant 1,
Teacher,
yes,
it looked for me that the period finished. Why?
no, miss, it's after 50. This is because I put it as 30 minutes, not 45. It's okay, but for 15 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah, 14 minutes.
And here we have quadrant 2. Here we have quadrant 3. And here we have quadrant 4. Now, the things that I want you to know it here. That. Look at the quadrant 1. In the quadrant 1, okay? In the quadrant 1, both of the x and y are positive. What do I mean? If you put any point here, the value of x is positive and the value of y is negative. Sorry, Ya Allah. The value of x is positive and the value of y is negative. Yo. The value of x is positive and the value of y is positive. So in quadrant 1, both of x and y are positive. In
Teacher, what about the negative one?
Quadrant 2 is negative.
Just a minute. Quadrant, let's see. Quadrant 1,
Quadrant
both
2 is negative.
No, see. Quadrant 1, both of the x and y are positive. Quadrant 3, both of the x and y are negative.
Quadrant
Okay.
4.
Quadrant 2. Now look at the quadrant 2. What about the x-axis? Are they positive
Positive
or
and
negative?
negative.
The x is negative and the y is
And the y is positive.
positive. Bravo.
Positive.
Look at this point here.
So it's
The
negative.
x is negative and the y is positive. And in quadrant 4, the x is what? Positive.
The x is
Positive
and
and
the
the 3
the
is
y is
negative.
y is negative.
And the
Negative.
y is negative.
Easy.
This is here. That's what we call in the quadrants. Okay. You have to know that in quadrant 1, both of the x and y are positive. In quadrant 3, both of the x and y are negative. In quadrant 2, y is positive, but x is negative. And, or you can say in quadrant 2, y is positive. In quadrant 4, x is positive. That's it. Do you have any question?
No.
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay. So here, these are the names of the quadrants. First quadrant, second, third, and fourth. Now, let's see here how you plot a point -2, -5 on the XY plane. As we said before, let's memorize it. So first of all, you have to start from the origin. Then you have to move 2 units going to the left because 2 is negative. Then 5 is negative. So you have to go 5 units down, starting from -2. Like 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So here is the location of a point -2, -5. Now, before we finish, there's some of the important points on the coordinate plane that the first quadrant, it's known as positive coordinate quadrant because both of the X and Y are positive, and it's represented by a Roman numeral 1. This is for the first quadrant. And then the second quadrant, it's represented by the Roman numeral 2, the third by 3, and the fourth by 4. And the first, we have positive, positive. The second, only one positive, which is Y. The third, there's no positive. And the fourth, the X only is positive. And then the last thing here, that the coordinates of any point are enclosed. I mean, I have to open 2 closed brackets, and between them, I have to write X first, then Y. Do you have any question?
No, teacher.
No.
Okay. So here is the lesson in your book. This is the definitions, what I explained for you before. The coordinate plane, the x-axis, the y-axis, the origin, the ordered pair, the x-coordinate, and the y-coordinate. What do I mean by the x-coordinate? Here we have x and y. This is an x-coordinate. And this is an y-coordinate. Now, all of you, please open your book, page 178.
Sharon, show?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, I remember something I want to tell you about it.
Teacher, what's the number of this page again?
178.
Okay.
Well, see, just I want to tell you something here. Before we'll talk about it. Now, we said that a rational number on the number lines. Now, all of these examples, I remind you how we represent the integers number. But what about the rational? The rational means it comes like, there's no example here, right? Look at this one here. Oh. Here we have the x-axis and the y-axis. Then we'll plot on numbers like 1, 2, and 3. There's a -1, -2, and -3. There's a 1, 2, and 3. There's a -1, -2, and -3. Now then, here we have positive 1, 2, 3. To the left, we have negative 1. Here we have 0, negative 2, negative 3. Here we have 1, 2, and 3. Here we have negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. Now then, if there's a point that comes here, how you will name it? How you will name it, sorry. What do you have to do? As I told you before, you have to bring a line starting from this point, cutting the x-axis and cutting the y-axis. Okay, now, where is this point cut the x-axis? Is it cut it at point 1? No. At point 2?
No.
Between 1 and 2.
Between them, exactly. Since it's cut it between them in equal distance, so I will say this point is 1.5. Because it comes between 1 and 2. And then, look, let's go to the y-axis. Is it cut it on the 1 or in 2, or it's between them?
Between them.
Between them. So it comes in 1.5. So that's mean the rational number of, represent the rational number on the number line. Here's now there's a rational number like 1.5, 1.5. I need to represent them.
Okay, teacher, how about
Okay, teacher, so it's equal.
teacher, how about the fraction?
It's the same.
Like a square.
Oh, sorry.
Can you show us about the fraction, please?
Even if it was between 2 and 3, we would write 1.5.
No, 2.5. See, I will give you now another example. Just a minute. Let's see, that's mean here, if you have these little points here, these represent 0.5.
Teacher, your voice vanished.
So here, I'm not talking, maybe that's why. Here will be point. Here is 0.5. Here is 1.5. Here is 2.5. You just add 0.5 and that means the numbers between 2 and 3 is 2.5. Here, between 0 and 1, it's 0.5. Between 1 and 2, it's 1.5. Between 2 and 3, it's 2.5. And between 0 and negative 1, it's negative 0.5. Between negative 1 and negative 2, it's negative 1.5. Between negative 2 and negative 3, it's negative 2.5. And here it's the same, negative 0.5, negative 1.5, negative 2.5, and so on. Now then, if I ask you now, what about this point? There's a point here. And I can say like, it's here.
Teacher, if you want to take يعني 1 out of 2, how can we find it?
Just a minute, let me continue this idea here. Now, here what do we have? Here we have this point. I want now to see where is the location of this point. You will draw a line and another line here. Now, where is the point that cut it on the, where's the line cut the x-axis? Is it at point negative 1 or at point negative 2 or at point negative 1.5 or neither one of them?
1.2, 1.2 and 2.5.
Just a minute. Excuse me, okay? Here. Exactly, yes, but look at me here. Is this line cuts it at negative 1 or negative 1.5 or between them?
Between them.
So because it's between them in the coordinate plane, this point is negative 1.25. And then on the y-axis, it's cut it at 2.5, so the value is 2.5. So the things that I want you to know is that if it is from -1 to -2 on this line, we call it -1.5. If it is between -1 and -1.5, in this place, we say it's -1.25. If it is between -1.5 and -2, we will say it's -1.75. And the same as for 2 and 3. Here we have 2.5. Here we have 2.25, which is the middle between 2 and 2.5. And it's in the middle between 2.5 and 3. We have 2.75.
Okay.
Okay. Now what about if you have 1.5? 1.5, it means 1.5. So you will go to the number line and we represent it. This is if we have a fraction. And more than this complicated one, there's no.
The period finished.
Teacher,
Yes. Yes, yes.
I have a question.
Yes, Malak.
And also, teacher, the period finished.
It's okay. Let's answer your question first.
Yeah.
Yes, Malak.
Teacher, how do we know, teacher, if it is like negative or positive? How do we know, teacher, like if we make it like you said that in the negative it is down, right?
Yeah, if it is on the y-axis, it's down. Yeah,
Yeah. Where is the other negative part?
on the left.
On the left, up on left,
Yeah.
or down on left?
No. Here, look. Up,
Yeah.
positive. And to the
Yeah.
right, positive.
Yes.
But the negative is on to the left and down.
Oh. Okay.